some of the things that are going on. Welcome, Sheila.
Thanks, Dan.
Let's talk first about the town pier, because that's a subject that's on many people's minds. How is the repair process going?
Okay, the repair process is coming along good. They're right on schedule. The floating dock is open, and the commercial guys are back on the dock. We have the dinghy docks are open, and the fixed pier, they're down at the very end. Looks like they're getting ready to finish up the decking on that. So we're hoping in just another couple of weeks we'll be ready to go. We have a temporary water line run on there. Been hearing some comments about because it's above the deck, but the commercial guys and everybody on the floater was begging for water, so we ran a temporary line that will be well, pretty much, but it will be replaced with a permanent one. We have 872 feet of water line that needs to get replaced, and sewage line for the pump out for the end of the pier.
But if it opens up in a couple of weeks, that's going to be at least a couple of weeks ahead of schedule, right? It'll be before the 4th?
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah,
that's what we're hoping for.
Good. What about people who had slips there? Are they all going to get back to where they were before? I heard you weren't running the lottery this year.
Right. We did not run the lottery because that takes some time to figure out who fits into what slip. And where we were so far behind because of the storm and the damage and repairs, we decided we will not run the lottery this year. We offered the slips to people that were on last year. They'll go back into their same spot, and if they decline, we do have a wait list of people that want to get on, and we'll fit them in to where they're
How long is your wait list?
I think we have 12 people on it.
No, that's not bad.
Not too bad,
That's
no.
not too bad, no. Somebody told me the other day that the average pleasure boat operates 40 hours a year. Does that sound right to you?
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing to think that people invest all that money and
I know it.
only run it 40 hours. But anyway, that's their business.
That's right.
One of the things that came up after the damage to the pier during the storm and so forth, that all you were really planning to do were repairs. There weren't going to be any improvements to the pier. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, that's what we filed for an emergency waiver to help us with some procurement issues, and part of that process is to just bring it back to as was before the storm. But you can't help but think that it's improved because things are structurally more sound now. There was a lot of decking that was replaced that needed to be replaced, but it looks really good. And
is the decking being tied down this time?
I hope so. Yeah, we got it. It's pretty secure now. And then they also put in they call hurricane fasteners. That go out to each one of the fingers. That should strengthen it just a little bit. So we're hoping that we got there.
Are there improvements you'd like to make to the town pier at some point?
Oh, sure. We'd like to change out the pilings a little bit more often. We'd like to get a better maintenance schedule going like that. And we'd like to change the floating dock over to a concrete floating dock because it can withstand the weather so much better. Can handle the weight of the size of the boats. As times change, people's boats tend to get bigger and a lot heavier, and those wooden floating docks just have proven themselves that they can't withstand the weather Nantucket gets in the winter.
Yeah. Some of the other things going on in the harbor, I know the selectmen have an initiative to try to protect eelgrass and specifically Hussey Shoal.
Absolutely.
So what has been done to implement that initiative?
Well, we're going to buoy off Hussey Shoal this year. They're going to be white regulatory marks that say no anchoring, and we're going to square the shoal off. And so there'll be 8 buoys regulatory marks to tell people that they can't anchor in that area. We're also, we'll also have a better presence on the water, or hope to be out there a little bit more often just to steer people away from it. And we let the broadcast notice to mariners know about the buoys to stay off of Hussey Shoal. We've let NOAA know. It'll be marked on nautical charts. And we put it into the Coast Pilot that's a no anchor area. We're also, once the buoys are established, we'll go, to local TV in 97.7. We'll get the word out every way we can.
One of the other issues on Hussey Shoal has been outboard motors, boats going across there at low tide and so forth, and
Right.
chewing up the eelgrass beds as well. Is there anything that can be done about that, or anything that's...
I just don't know why anybody would want to go there, but they do. But I'm hoping that the regulatory marks will make it quite clear as to what the deal is, and we're just trying to do as much public education as we can to keep them clear of that area.
Can you put that on the charts too, or not?
Well, they should see that the depth says like 1 to 2 feet, and like most people that read a chart or know what they're doing would not want to go in 1 to 2 feet of water. But yeah, we can definitely say no transiting and no anchoring in this area.
The anchorage in Nantucket Harbor is pretty crowded.
Very crowded.
And there, I guess, particularly during race week and that period, the pressure for space is tremendous.
Yeah.
And cordoning off Hussey Shoal, while it wasn't the most popular anchorage, there were people who did anchor there, right?
Right.
What's going to happen to them?
They're going to have to find something else. I am going to work with Natural Resources, and Bob DeCoste is going to help us. There's places inside First Bend where there is no eelgrass growth and they don't catch scallops, and so we're going to try to use that as an overflow. But everybody that's called me so far this summer to say, I want to come and spend the first 2 weeks in August on anchor, I keep encouraging them to go get a hold of the Nantucket Boat Base and telling them that they're not going to like it. And anything that's over 100 feet can anchor outside in the Court of the Bay. There's Anchorage Juliet out there. They just have to have a reasonable dinghy to get them down the channel, because especially if they're coming in to try to go to dinner, they're not going to want to, get trashed coming down when they're all dressed up.
By trashed, you mean wet. They may be trashed anyway.
but before they even get to dinner, they're going to be soaked. So.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else going on in the harbor this summer?
Porpoise Harbor, we were out there yesterday trying to put some buoys in, and that has shoaled significantly. We had a really hard time finding water for that, so want to put the warning out to people that we mark the best water, but the best water isn't a lot, especially at low tide. I don't recommend any big boats try to come in or out of there. It's very tight, and the water's real skinny. There's not much there. And also, the other place we're struggling with buoys is Eel Point Channel. The channel itself has plenty of water, but the shoal that runs east and west just inside of the federal buoy has grown, and we haven't been able to find a path yet.
Is this into Tuckernuck?
They're going into Eel Point Channel to go down into either Tuckernuck or into Nantucket Harbor itself. But a lot of the charter boats like to use that channel because if the fish are biting to the south, they like to go and then go through the cut at Smith's Point. So we're trying the best we can. We found, like I said, we found great water in the channel. I just can't get you from the federal buoy to put a first buoy there. So we're hoping if we can't find it tomorrow, we're going to ask for an overflight and see if somebody will fly over and maybe they can see it from the air where we can't see it,
Who would do that? Somebody like the Coast Guard Auxiliary, would they do that?
Yeah, we're looking into all kinds of different options, but yeah, hopefully we can get those guys to go up and take a peek for us or a video.
What about the access into Tuckernuck?
Access into Tuckernuck is tricky too. We haven't marked that one in the last couple of years, but I was gonna get Eel Point done first, and then if we could re-explore Tuckernuck, we will. But the people that live over there are saying it's worse than ever to get into there too. So that's another little warning. Shout out to anybody that's thinking about heading over that way.
Because, I mean, obviously Whale Island, which is technically part of Tuckernuck, is a very popular spot.
And it's really Whale Island this year. It's big. It's grown. Yeah.
For people who have boats, especially out at the West End.
Exactly.
Well, Sheila, we appreciate everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
And certainly the efforts to, from my personal perspective, the efforts to preserve eelgrass and so forth are very important.
Yes, absolutely.
And but I know your personal efforts with respect to the town pier were well over and above the call of duty. And
thank you.
we thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Sheila Lucey,
Appreciate it.
Harbor Master.
Thank you.